Hey guys, this is going to be a preview for today, January 8th, 2020, and I want to go ahead and jump into this article here. And just as a little word here, I am feeling sick as a dog. I am not feeling any better or any worse than I did yesterday, so I'm just going to continue to drink water and hopefully, and this is the first sick day I've taken in almost 5 months, so I'm hoping that this is just a passing thing, hoping that I don't have to go to the doctor, and I hope to get to work tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is from CNN on MSN, titled CNN Settles Lawsuit with Nick Sandmann Stemming from Viral Video Controversy. Now, interesting note here, this was written by a person called Oliver Darcy, so he's good friends with Jack is it Dorsey or Dempsey, the Twitter fella, and then as well as little Brian Stelter. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. CNN has settled a lawsuit with a Kentucky high school student who is at the center of a viral video controversy, a spokesperson for the news network confirmed Tuesday. No other details are immediately available. An attorney for the student, Nicholas Sandmann, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Sandmann only tweeted, quote, "Yes, we settled with CNN," end quote. The news was first reported by WXIX-TV. The local outlet said a settlement figure was not made public at a court hearing in Covington, Kentucky. The settlement will allow CNN to avoid a lengthy and potentially unpredictable trial. Sandmann sought $275 million in damages in the lawsuit he filed against CNN last March. Sandmann, a student at Covington Catholic High School, became a national news story when he was in Washington on January 18th of 2019 for the annual March for Life rally. In a video that gained national attention, Sandmann was in an encounter with Omaha tribe elder Nathan Phillips, who was beating a handheld drum and singing at the Indigenous Peoples March at the Lincoln Memorial on the same day. Another video that surfaced days later provided additional context for the encounter, but the first video had gone viral, touching off widespread controversy as photos of the teenager and the red "Make America Great Again" hat he was wearing spread across social media. In the second video, a group of black men who identified as members of the Black Hebrew Israelites were seen taunting the students from Covington Catholic High School with disparaging language and shouting racist slurs at participants in the Indigenous Peoples rally and other passersby. Sandmann at the time strongly denied accusations against him, saying he had been trying to quote-unquote defuse the situation by quote-unquote remaining motionless and calm. Major news outlets, including the Washington Post, the AP, and CNN, covered the aftermath of the incident. Sandmann also filed lawsuits against NBC, Universal, and the Washington Post. In July, a federal judge in Kentucky dismissed the lawsuit against the Washington Post. Part of that lawsuit, however, was reinstated in October. So I want to go ahead and say this, that you can check out the video down below in the description. That's from Salty Cracker. He is the person who just, by the way, really stays on top of the news. And he did a live stream last night covering some of the events in Iraq last night. And anyways, he jumped right on this. And you guys can check out that video down below in the description. But, interesting thing here, I have to go back to the fourth to last paragraph here. It says, Black Hebrew Israelites were seen taunting the students from Covington Catholic High School with disparaging language and shouting racist slurs at participants. Now, this goes against, of course, the white man bad agenda, because I think there's two very disgusting tropes that are recycled in amongst those on the left and mainstream media. They talk about how there's too many white people, and they also talk about it's impossible to be racist against white people, and then the vice versa, of course, or the reciprocal is that colored people can't be racist or non-whites can't be racist. So some pretty horrible things there, but at least they're kind of letting up on that. The thing that they don't really mention here is that CNN, I mean, they're talking about how they're settling out of court, but they're not talking about the reason why Nick Sandmann took him to court in the beginning. Because you had Ana Cabrera out there. She was the anchor that was reporting on this, and she had basically said that, Black Hebrew Israelites preaching a message of love were harassed by these evil white high school students from Covington Catholic High School. And just, of course, trying to paint Nathan Phillips in a positive light. That was on the side of NBC with Savannah Guthrie. If you look at the interviews between Nathan Phillips and Nicholas Sandmann, you can definitely see the type of narrative that they're trying to perpetuate. They have Nick Sandmann basically being interrogated by Savannah Guthrie in a very condescending, not so much interrogating, but being questioned in a very condescending way, like, oh, are you regretful for the bad that you did here? Are you going to apologize? And all this nonsense. And Nathan Phillips, they're treating him like he was a war hero, which is ironic because he's somebody who has gone AWOL, and he lied about his service. He lied about his military service. He was talking about how he was in the Marine Rangers or some bullshit like that. I mean, even a pedestrian would know that that is a line of bullshit. Marine Ranger. I'm just gonna look at Marine Recon Ranger. Yeah, that's what he said here. AWOL. I don't believe he served in Vietnam. If he did serve in the military, he was somebody who has not served his country well. I think we can all agree to that. And you just look at the guy. You look at Nathan Phillips. The guy has probably been using drugs for the latter part of his life. I mean, he looks like he looks like a homeless guy. Let's not sugarcoat it here. Come on. And Nick Sandmann, I mean, look, he's got a bright future. If he has been awarded the full settlement, which I don't think is what happened here. I don't think he got awarded $273 million. If I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected. I'll eat crow. I'll eat my flex tape. But even if he gets half of that, he's in a very good position. And what he does with that money is completely up to him. He's going to be a famous figure no matter what for the rest of his life. And for good reason. I mean, he was somebody who was dragged through the mud, the proverbial mud, by the legacy media for essentially having be a part. He was basically a victim of two different narratives: the orange man bad narrative with the hat, the MAGA hat, as well as the white man bad narrative because he's white. And you had Bill Maher come out, and Bill Maher was like, I blame that little dipshit kid, and then he made a very tasteless joke about oh, I don't know what Catholic priests see in these kids. And that's just Bill Maher for you. I mean, Bill Maher's a big pizza and hot dog fan, so probably walnut sauce too. So he's just kind of showing his true colors there. He had Michael Rappaport come out and, call him a little Covington cocksucker, in his thick New York accent. I mean, and then there was somebody on Twitter, I remember this, somebody had a meme or something of Nick Sandmann being pushed through a wood chipper. So he deserves every penny of what he's going to get. And if he doesn't get the full settlement, I think all of us are going to say he should have gotten it. And it's just going to be very interesting to see how this changes the legacy media's way of reporting. I mean, you would think that they've learned their lesson. They have continuously shot themselves in the foot. I mean, you look at what happened with Trump, through BuzzFeed, Trump allegedly instructing Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. And more recently, you had ABC News post footage of the machine gun shoot in Knob Creek, Kentucky. You would think that they had learned their lesson by now, that people are picking up on their bullshit. This is the reason why they get called fake news. And a lot of people on the left, like in the Jimmy Dore crowd, they see this exact thing and they're like, this is the reason why Trump calls you fake news, because you report on things falsely. And even going back to some of the I'm going off on a tangent here, but look at some of the things that Jimmy Dore has called out on CNN's part. And others. Jimmy Dore was absolutely lampooning, and for good reason, the CNN reporter who went over to Syria post the alleged gas attack, and she was sniffing a rag that was at ground zero of the gas attack, and she's like, yeah, there's definitely poison gas here. Oh yeah, no one's going to buy that. I mean, you look at the actual audience of CNN, boomers for the most part, and young people with orange man bad, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. They're going to eat that shit up. They're going to say, oh, CNN, they tell me that's real. I got to believe them, because Commander News Network. What should I do today, Commander? Brian Stelter, Commander Anderson Cooper, all this just crazy stuff. But anyways, this is a good day nonetheless. Nick Sandmann, he's been vindicated in a lot of ways. Like I said, what he decides to do with the money is completely up to him. I think that he He may even set himself up for life in public office, which would be very refreshing. As you know, this should be. I think we need to get more and more outsiders into politics and get some of the old swamp monsters out of there. I mean, if we can learn anything from the election of Trump, and both people on the left and right will say this, they'll say if Trump can get elected, anybody will say, oh, anybody can get elected. And that really rings true at the left. I mean, I've heard people say like, oh, I might run for president if Trump can do it, and they're lefties. And it's like, well, yeah, because he did win it. You know, he's an outsider. If an outsider can win it, you can definitely do it. But you got to have the grit and the gut to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get pushed by the wayside. So, anyways, really good day for Nick Sandmann. God bless him, and he's a really, really great kid. I mean, very mature for his age. I really like the way he handled himself in the NBC interview, talking about, oh, if I were to see Nathan Phillips again, I'd like to talk to him and just make peace with him. And Nathan Phillips, he's an absolute coward. He's a liar. I mean, that's what else can you say? He's a coward and a liar. He went AWOL and he lied about Nick Sandmann getting up in his face. He's probably high, so give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably all methed out or whatever. All methed up. All right, guys. It's a meth. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. I'll see you later.